How do you add a serpent or a dragon to a map like this? Well, you're in luck. This channel is about how to draw fantasy maps. My name is Wes Jones. First thing you want to do when you're adding something like a dragon or a serpent to a map, you need to sketch it out. Let's make this a little lighter, and we'll draw the dragon in this area. Well, generally when you draw a pictorial thing, you draw it from that side view. Because you look at all these mountains, they're drawn from the side view, and even though the land is sort of a top-down view, all those features on it are typically more on that side profile. So like I said, we're going to draw in this area here, and you're going to have to decide how big that dragon's going to be. So I like starting with the head when I draw something like that. And we're going to have a dragon that goes into the water and has that classic kind of Loch Nessy, loopy feel to it. Something like that. Maybe we'll give the dragon some big spikes on it. There you go. That's step number one. Sort of deciding what that dragon's going to look like. Well, step two would be to ink in that dragon. So I'll actually make that a little bit more transparent so you can barely see it. And start drawing that dragon. Now I'm going to use a black pen to match the coastline. And it's about the same size, I think. It's a little smaller, which is probably good for this. I don't need as thick as that coastline. I'm going to start drawing that dragon. Now one thing you have to remember is what scale this map is going to be at. Sometimes you overdo the details because you zoom in way too far and the dragon or that thing you're drawing really doesn't need all that information. In fact, it actually makes it look worse. Give it those big spikes. And then once I've drawn that outside, I'm going to draw a little of the detail. Give it its eye, and we'll give it a little bit of an underbelly here on this side. Maybe a little bit there. Maybe a little in its neck. It's starting to look all right. Just a few details with the scales, maybe. I think this needs a few more spikes on this side. We'll even it out, and maybe a small one over there. Okay, that's starting to look all right. Now the next thing I want to do with this, just to make it look like it belongs to this map, is I want to add water around it, like it's a sea serpent, it's in the water. What I'll do here, you noticed along the coast here, we've got these rings. It won't look right if I draw rings around this dragon, because I've drawn it on that side view. What you're actually going to do here is you're going to draw it as if it looks right for that dragon. Extend those a little bit. You can see that that dragon, it kind of looks like a stamp on the map, but it holds together pretty well. The last thing is we need to add some color. Well, this map is fairly desaturated colors. You don't want to go too crazy with it. If I drew like a really bright yellow in here, it just wouldn't look right. The dragon would stand out too far. Now, if the dragon was super, super important, you could do that. But let's take a sample of the color here, and we'll make it just a little bit darker. Let's see how that looks. But still maybe a little strong. And one of the ways you can tell that is if you maybe stand back from their piece of paper or from the computer screen, and you can get a different view or a different vantage of what's going on in the whole map. And I would say that maybe is a tiny bit strong, but we'll go with it. And we'll just color in the main body. I'll make the underneath, let's make it a little bit different. Is it different enough? No, not really. There we go. I don't know how well this is working, but it's all right. The nice thing again, if you draw digitally, is you can erase things and try it again. The last step I might do is I might sample the water and maybe just add a little darker and just make it look like there's something going on with the water there. Just help out the waves a little bit. And there you have it. We've drawn and we've actually added a serpent, a serpenty dragon to this map. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I hope you've learned a couple things about how to add a serpent to your map. I do have a website called fantasymapping.com. Go check that out if you want to see some other things. And I also have a book called Fantasy Mapping Drawing Worlds. You can get to that link in the description. That book's all about how to draw fantasy maps, showing you many tips and tricks. Well, I can't wait to see what the dragons and serpents look like on your map. Until next time.